Here is the truth about skinny wrists. The actual wrist joint, the bones where you wear your watch, will not grow significantly after puberty. This is a scientific fact. The wrist itself contains no muscles that you can grow. It consists mostly of bones and tendons. But here is what changes everything. The forearm muscles, located directly above your wrist. These muscles respond to training incredibly well. And here is why that matters. Even if you build strong upper arms, biceps and triceps, small wrists make everything look weaker. Building the forearms directly above the wrist creates a massive optical illusion that makes thin wrists look much thicker. But you need the right exercises.
Here is the good news. Forearm muscles recover at a crazy speed. This is why arm wrestling legend Devin Larratt doesn't wait days to train them again. He trains them every day, sometimes multiple times a day. However, he doesn't reach muscular failure every time.
The question is, what exercises do I actually need? When researchers brought in athletes and attached EMG, electromyography, electrodes to their forearms, they tested different exercises to see which ones activated the forearm muscles the most. Traditional wrist curls certainly target the flexors, but they aren't the muscles that create thickness near the wrist. When they tested pronation, the movement where you rotate your forearm as if turning a doorknob or pouring water from a bottle, the pronator teres muscle achieved 73% of its maximum activation. This was cited in a study published in the International Journal of Sports Physical Therapy. In case you're wondering, it's a muscle located on the inner side of your forearm, just below the elbow. Devin Larratt calls it your best weapon for a reason. It's what separates elite arm wrestlers from the rest, and most people never train it directly. That is the problem.
So I looked into the studies and extracted 3 exercises that will make your skinny wrists look thick. These aren't ordinary exercises you see everywhere. Some come from arm wrestling champions, some from rock climbers, and one from old-school bodybuilders. The best part, it's all backed by science. First exercise, the elite rock climber hang, crimp grip. A study on climbers measured muscle activation during different grip positions. The flexor digitorum profundus, deep finger flexor, was activated by 96.6% of the MVIC, maximum voluntary isometric contraction, during the crimp grip, the intense finger position climbers use on small holds. What does MVIC mean? It's how scientists measure muscle activation compared to a baseline grip. 96.6% means the muscle is working at a very high level. Why it matters? This deep muscle controls your fingertips. Whether you're holding a barbell, a steering wheel, or hanging from a bar, this muscle does most of the work. It creates thickness throughout the entire forearm, especially near the wrists. How to do it? Find a pull-up bar. Instead of wrapping your whole hand around the bar, hold it with your fingertips only. Your fingers should be bent at the first knuckle, creating that arched position. Your thumb can wrap for support or stay beside your fingers. Now, let your body hang with arms straight. Do not pull yourself up. This grip puts significant pressure on your finger tendons and joints, so start light. Use assistance if necessary. Keep one foot on the ground or use a resistance band for support. Important note, keep your shoulders slightly packed down and don't let them collapse.
If you feel any sharp pain in your tendons, stop immediately.
Start with 10 to 20 seconds per hang. Do 3 to 4 sets and rest for 3 minutes between sets. Don't add weight until you can hang for 30 seconds or more with your body weight without discomfort.
Old school secret, behind the back finger curls. Rock climbers have amazing forearms, but this is where bodybuilders take the lead. Golden era lifters in the 70s and 80s didn't have technical studies, but they had decades of trial and error. They used a variation of a wrist curl that has almost disappeared from modern gyms. The logic: when the bar is behind your body, it cannot actually stay in your palm. Gravity forces the bar to roll down toward your fingertips. In every rep, your fingers must roll the weight back into your hands before your wrist begins to flex. This stimulates the deep forearm muscles that make wrists look thicker. How to do it. Start with just the bar. Place it on a rack at about hip height. Stand with your back to the bar. Reach back and grab it with both hands at shoulder width, palms facing away from your body. Lift the bar and stand straight. Your arms should hang directly behind you with a slight bend in the elbows. The movement. Let the bar roll from your palms down to your fingertips. You should feel a stretch in your forearms. From this position, curl your fingers to close your hand first, pulling the bar back into your palm. Then flex your wrist upward. The sequence is close fingers, then flex wrist. Hold at the top for a second, squeeze, then lower slowly and let it roll back to your fingertips. Do 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps, resting 60 to 90 seconds between sets.
The best weapon, dumbbell pronation. The first 2 exercises target the deep muscles that control the fingers and grip, which are essential for internal mass. But there is one muscle almost no one trains, the pronator teres. The goal: building this muscle adds width and thickness to the upper forearm, creating a taper that makes your wrist look more defined by comparison. A thick upper forearm next to a narrow wrist looks powerful, not skinny. How to do it? You need 1 dumbbell. Start with a light weight. Sit on a bench and place your right forearm flat on your right thigh, parallel to the floor. Hold the dumbbell so it's in a vertical position, hammer grip. The movement. Slowly rotate your forearm inward, turning your palm from facing sideways to facing the floor. Rotate as far as possible until your palm is flat toward the ground. You should feel the inner part of your forearm working, just below the elbow. That is the pronator teres contracting. Pause for a second at the bottom, then slowly return to the starting position. Do 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps per arm using light weight. The good news is you can do all 3 in one session. Forearms are small muscles that recover quickly. Start with 2 to 3 times per week. You can do this at the end of your regular workout or as a standalone session. Just don't do heavy forearm work before exercises that require a strong grip, like deadlifts or pull-ups. Weeks 1-2, learn the movements and focus on perfect form. Weeks 3 to 4, start adding small amounts of weight and focus on feeling the muscles work. Weeks 5 to 8, continue adding weight slowly while maintaining perfect form. Week 9+, you should start seeing visible changes.
It is very important to mention, do not reach muscular failure in every set. Train for the pump, not the pain. Train at an effort of 7 or 8 out of 10. This allows for frequent training without burnout. If you destroy your forearms every session, you won't be able to train them for several days, which defeats the purpose. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments.